حوار الأصدقاء Friends Dialogue. Hello friends, welcome again to Friends Dialogue. This is a dialogue between us. I'm taking your comments and recycle them again for the benefit of others. Unfortunately, some are diverting from the dialogue. So they are not dialoguing. It's easy to say you are a liar, you tell lies, or you bring something that has no logic at all in a conversation between friends. Nevertheless, most comments this time came from Egypt and Egyptians. Wonderful Egypt. And the Egyptians I love very much. Nevertheless, I would say thank you so much for those encouraging comments. I'm not going to comment on them. It is not good to blow my trumpet, but I'm taking the nasty one maybe in this dialogue. If I put a title really to this dialogue, I would say some ignore what they know. Others are ignorant, acting stupidly. Some, they know what is the truth, and they just try to cover it. They are ashamed of their Islam, of some of the teachings in Islam, of some of the acting of Muslims. So they cover it. They know, but they ignore it. Others are ignorant, but they act stupidly. It means they try to show some knowledge, but they don't. They show stupidity. I went to one of our poets, the famous Arab poets. When he left Egypt, he was saying, Eid, the festivity. Anyway, you came back, Eid. With what was before or to renew? Is it the same thing or you have something new for us? Sadly, in my world, the Arabic-speaking world, the Muslim world, not many have made that progress, have come out of that cocoon. They kept themselves closed and useless for anything else. They haven't followed the caravan of progression. Another thing the poet say when he is looking at the Egyptians, this poet, and he says of the people of Egypt, masters of all people come from within, and the master of Muslims is a ragamuffin black, is a dwarf black. That's an insult to the level some of the Muslims were at the time of this poet. I will mention his name. When I mention his poetry, the Arabic-speaking would know who is. I will mention his name, will follow. In the purpose of religion, is the purpose of religion, he is saying, to shave your mustache? This is the poet. On the 4th century, roughly after Hijrah, during the Abbasid Caliphate. He is questioning the Egyptians, those who are taking religion as an appearance. Is the purpose of religion to shave your mustache? Or a nation that other nations laugh at its ignorance? Or a nation, other nation laughs at its ignorance? Now the poet is Abu Tayyib al-Mutanabbi, Ahmad Abu Tayyib al-Mutanabbi, who spent more time in the presence of الدولة الحمدانية, the Hamadani dynasty, Saif al-Dawla al-Hamadani in Aleppo, Syria, north of Syria. And this is how he is addressing the Egyptians centuries back. Is the religion just to shave your mustache? O a nation, laugh at its ignorance, other nations. يا أمة ضحكت من جهلها الأمم. I wonder if there is something different today. Generally speaking, we have progress. Some have made it. Wonderful. Whether left Islam into atheism or any other way of life, they have made it out of that cocoon. And they are making progress, notable progress in life. Sadly, others are still in the yuck zone, for those who are playing backgammon. What a nation, what a society are we building? Sadly, this criticism centuries back applies to the society today. Shaving the mustache and leaving the beard. This is according to Hadith. Our poet, Ahmad Abu Tayyib al-Mutanabbi, was a Muslim. He knows Islam, he knows the Hadith, he knows the Quran. So he was quoting from the Hadith. It says in the Islamic Hadith, shave the mustache and leave the beards. That is Sahih Muslim 259. This is the Sahih Hadith. Authentic means. And in the narration, cut the mustaches. Other narration, cut the mustaches. Either shave or cut. Then, listen to this. Another hadith. Disobey or differ from the polyists. Differ from the polyists. Preserve the beards and shave the mustache. Just to be different from the polytheist. Mushrikeen. Khalif al-Mushrikeen. So if the polytheists are doing something good, do we still have to differ from them? Disobey their way of life? Just alienate ourselves from that and do the opposite? What is the logic behind that? I cannot see a logic at all. Nevertheless, it seems that this is a disease, like hemiplegia, paralyzing half of the body. And in the East we have a proverbial saying, فالج لا تعالج. Hemiplegia. Do not treat. Do not touch it. Forget about the person. Is our world, the Arab world and the Muslim world, reached this stage? Or is it in the stage of gangrene or gangrene? Eating the tissues and no fresh blood supply? Are we into that stage in some societies, some district? People are making progress. Here I'm not calling you to become a Christian, I'm calling you to become better humans. Some came to the place of the no return. Yes, hard to think of cure. My faith does not allow me to laugh at Egypt, as Al-Mutanabbi, our poet centuries back, who served in Egypt as well, or other country. The bitter reality of our world calls for more than pity. It calls for alerting the vulnerabilities. That is why I have said, and I reiterate, that I am optimistic as I see in the horizon a spiritual awakening, talking about the land of Egypt in particular. I see in the horizon an awakening, spiritual awakening taking place. I mean real spiritual awakening and faith in the Lord Jesus Christ and the living God. Let's go to, briefly in some areas, some of those comments. From Wala Ramadan. Ha 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 ha. So many ha 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 ha. The 30 years war I heard about, or have you heard about the Inquisition? Do you know anything about it? I would say yes. But to surprise you, my dear viewers, to surprise Wala Ramadan, I am going to make something about Andalusia in the coming few days, live in Andalusia, to make something to bring the story of Andalusia into light, to the shame of many Muslims, if people have shame. Another comments from Wala. I have come to cast peace. I have not come, to cast peace, but a sword. Indeed, it cannot be violent. That's why the sons of Christ wage wars all over the world. Not terribly correct quotations, but terribly bad hermeneutics. My answer, I challenge you to tell how much blood was shed by the sword of Christ compared to the fierce Muhammad. Not a single drop at all. While Muhammad, I mentioned that in Arabic, was pleased to see an 80-year-old lady because of her satiric poetry against him. He put her between two beasts, hung between her two legs, and pulled the beast apart, cutting her into half. Can someone imagine that filthy scene? Any butcher will do something worse than that to a lady of her 80, elderly lady. And you, Wala, you talk about Christ, that he did not come to put peace, to bring peace, but a sword. You understand the meaning of it? The deep meaning of it? Maybe I should make one special episode, or someone else will do it, concerning the sword in the life of Jesus Christ. That could be interesting. Is your brain washed with hatred to Christians, resorted to blasphemy, which I challenge you to come up with a basis? And then talking about people, the sons of Christ, waging wars in the name of Christ. If a Western country is fighting, they are not shouting Christ Akbar. As Muslim, Allah Akbar. Christ is bigger. Allah is bigger. It is the politics. You need awareness, Allah, Wala, instead of nonsense. Another message, I will conclude with that, from Wala, from the same girl, lady, who knows. I'm talking to unknown people. If someone will put a name and no face, nothing, I'm not sure who is there, who is behind it. So what I was saying, You are dialoguing with me as a Christian, but you are ignorant or blind of the teaching of Christ, who did not say what you mentioned literally, to kill people literally. The things in the Old Testament which neither Christ nor his honorable disciples practiced, quoted, or acted upon, these things ask the Jews about. The things concerning the Old Testament, let me recap, because she was quoting from the Old Testament. I was trying to make it short, cut it short. Wait that we see your book, what it says, the sheikh, the elderly, the young man, the virgin, the child, and the woman, kill to perish. Do not draw near to a man has the mark, or start from my sanctuary. Fragmented, but it is a quotation from the Old Testament. I'm not going into it. What I'm referring, if something from the Old Testament, not in the spirit of Christ, not in the spirit of the disciples, nothing to do with us, please go to the Jews and ask them about it. Let them answer. Some of us would have the answer, but let me refer you to the Jews who are closer to you. You are, or the vice versa. You came much later than them. You are closer to them. You are closer to the Old Testament teaching than to the New Testament. So why you ask me, why you tell me about this, something, atrocities committed in the Old Testament for a reason known to the Jews? Let them answer that. Which neither Christ nor his honorable disciples acted upon. They are actually closer to you than in these matters. You have a lot of ha-ha. Voila. I transfer them to your mighty and arrogant Allah from your personal account. So I put them from your personal account on your Allah. That's why I said at times I'm sarcastic, maybe because some wouldn't deserve a proper answer as such. That will come into conclusion for now from the Friends dialogue. Sadly, some made it not friendly. I wish we will come into friendly discussions. I've done that with some concerning my visit to Fez and what I put about Fez. I had some nice comments. I complimented those comments, really how much I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the people. I appreciated the people, etc. So every situation has its own manner of reply. By this, I would say thank you so much for listening, and thank you. Please pray for these programs and participate in whatever way you find you are able to. Some of the dialogues are in English, not many, unfortunately, but try to participate. May God bless you. May God bless us all. I'm Daniel. Cheers.